Hello everybody! Welcome back to the dig site. Today we are back with yet another Jurassic Park Abandoned Mysteries episode. And, just before we get into that, Jurassic Park / World... I don't know which one it is, there's too many now. Chaos Theory has been released on Netflix. Hooray! And have I watched it? No, not at all. I haven't watched it because I have been a little busy at the moment. And when I kept seeing other YouTubers upload their trailer reactions and whatnot on their channels, I was like, oh, maybe that should be my next video. And then I realized that it was coming out the literal next day, so it would have been pointless. So, without any further ado, enjoy the video. In the Lost World, we all know that near the end of the movie, a ship named the SS Venture was tasked with transporting one adult male Tyrannosaurus Rex to the mainland, or more specifically, San Diego. However, something happened in between its voyage from Isla Sorna, causing it to crash land into the harbor. After the massive crash, people climb onto the ship and start to investigate, trying to understand what caused the ship to lose control in the first place and where the crew went. Well, I think we all know where the crew went, they just aren't whole. Once the adult T-Rex is released from the cargo hold, he decides to go for a stroll through the city. During his little excursion, the Rex decided to have a little fun. You know, he flipped some cars, cracked open a bus like a Kinder Surprise egg, had a snack, and made a new friend while drinking some water. Wait, where'd the dog go? During the Bull Rex's rampage through the city, Ian Malcolm and Sarah Harding find where the baby T-Rex is being kept and decide to use the offspring to lure the Bull Rex back to the dock. After the intense chase sequence, the baby Rex is placed in the cargo hold, where the adult Rex follows. When it enters the enclosed area, Sarah Harding shoots the animal with tranquilizer darts, putting the Rex asleep. The SS Venture is then transported back to Isla Sorna so that both the adult and baby Tyrannosaurs can return home. Wait, why is the entire US Army escorting the ship back? Do they not know it's a T-Rex? You know, it can't swim for very long. What do you think it's gonna do, spread wings and fly? Now, let's rewind a bit. During the investigation of what happened, there are obvious signs that the crew was attacked by something, given the fact that there were dead bodies scattered around the vessel as well as severed limbs. Two noticeable bodies were the severed hand Peter Ludlow discovered, the one that was gripping the steering wheel, as well as the one that was seen holding the controls to the cargo hold doors. Now, at this point, we the viewers are meant to connect that the bull Tyrannosaurus Rex was the one that caused all this destruction. However, some people speculate that the Tyrannosaurus Rex was not alone on this voyage, all because of one detail. If we go back to the severed hand on the steering wheel, we notice that the surrounding room is not damaged in the slightest. Now, you may be wondering why that matters. Well, if a massive Tyrannosaurus Rex escaped captivity and was eating everybody, then there would be significant damage and signs that the T-Rex was struggling to fit its large head into the cabin. And, as we can see, there is no damage whatsoever. We even get to see both sides of the cabin's outer walls, further confirming this. As a result, people began speculating that the Velociraptors were involved with the assault. This plot is something straight from the first Jurassic Park book, where the Velociraptors sneak onto one of the ships as a way to migrate to the mainland. And people actually managed to find some concept art that looks like a Velociraptor cornering a man in a mechanical-like room, with water flooding the floors, indicating that this must be a separate room on board the SS Venture. However, this is not the case since someone pointed out that this is a deleted concept of when Nick Van Owen travels to the workers' village to try and contact the mainland, and in doing so is confronted by Velociraptors. This makes sense because the room he is in seems like a facility rather than a ship. Another thing to point out is the fact that the character seems to be holding a large flashlight, the same one that we see Nick Van Owen wielding in the communication center. So, it's safe to say that the Velociraptors were not a part of the attack during the voyage on the SS Venture. So if it wasn't the Velociraptors, then what was it? Well, it's simple, the T-Rex. There really is no mystery here. All the destruction and chaos that happened on the ship was caused by the Bull Rex. The reason why so many people theorize that another animal was present on the SS Venture when the T-Rex killed the crew was because of that one shot with the captain's severed hand on the steering wheel. If we take a look at some concept art of the crash-landed ship, we get to see that cabin smashed in, with loads of debris around it, clearly showing that some big animal was trying to get into that one area. Unfortunately in the film, this was poorly executed, leading many to believe that the T-Rex was not alone and that this was the work of some smaller, more ferocious animal. Now that we know that it was most definitely the T-Rex, I have a quick theory as to how the captain died, and why his hand was left behind. I think that the captain was obviously in the cabin when he was attacked. However, he was ripped out of the shelter by the T-Rex, leaving only his hand behind. The following events are how I believed it happened. Since Roland Tembo shot the animal with 2 darts of concentrated carfentanil, the large animal went into a comatose state. The crew hurried and gave it something to counteract the effects, but since they gave it too much, it caused the bull rex to jump up in a narcoleptic state. Once the T-Rex broke out of confinement, it was all hands on deck, including the captain. Everyone was desperately trying to wrangle up the mighty beast, but the T-Rex was in too much of an uncontrollable state, killing anything in its path. The unlucky few got eaten or ripped to shreds, whereas the rest of the crew started to jump off the SS Venture, knowing that they would most likely drown in the ruthless sea or die of hypothermia. The captain, being one of the last alive, started to sprint back to his cabin in hopes of hiding. After the T-Rex finished eating one of the crew members whole, it noticed the fleeing captain and slowly pursued him. As the captain scrambled up the stairs and into the door of the shelter, he felt a crushing pain in his leg. It was the bull rex, clamping his jaws on the soft human's flesh. The captain would scream as his bones would crunch under the intense force. Falling to the ground, he relentlessly kicked the snout of the dinosaur, trying to get the beast to let go. Luckily, his attempts would not be in vain. The T-Rex would let go, and the captain would frantically crawl up to the steering wheel, maneuvering his body past the controls. His leg bled profusely from the attack. Barely being able to move, he reached up with his right hand, gripping the wheel tightly. The captain's body practically was slinking around the obstacles as he lay on his side. Both his legs were partially hanging out of the doorframe. Luckily for the animal, that was just enough to bite onto. Biting onto both of his legs, the bull rex forcefully pulled its large head back. The unexpected pull back and force caused the captain's hand to separate from his arm. The sudden event would pull the unsuspecting captain out of the enclosed space and into the open. This is where the bull rex would throw the captain up into the air and eat him alive, killing him slowly. This theory is gruesome, but to me makes sense. The reason why the cabin was not destroyed was because the captain's legs were exposed in the open enough to drag the man out, without having to damage anything in the process. And, due to the sheer force of the pull, the captain's hand that would be gripping the handle of the steering wheel would have been severed from his arm. Using visual storytelling, the film tries to make you understand that the T-Rex was responsible for this carnage. If they made the cabin torn to shreds, as if a giant animal was trying to break its way through, then it would have been extremely clear as to what was behind the attack, and there would be no mystery behind the event. But what do you think? Do you think it was just a bad case of visual storytelling, or do you think velociraptors snuck onto the ship, and that they were responsible for the captain's death? If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel, and make sure to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my videos. We are so close to 500, so thank you all so much, and again, like I said in my last video, I'm sorry for not posting. I hope I see you in the next video, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.